What's going on, beautiful people? We are back one more again. It is the Fufu and Jerk podcast. It's your boy Omar Muhammad with the homie.
The homie, Anna-Lysa Gale over here, y'all.
I was waiting for you to introduce yourself. I mean, I could have introduced
Happy
you.
to be here.
I mean, you are the homie.
Episode 9.
We're 9 months into this baby. Hopefully you guys are enjoying everything you're hearing and it's getting better. Feel free to leave comments on our Instagram page, the Fufu and Jerk podcast.
Subscribe.
Rate the podcast, give your honest feedback and opinions. 5 stars is usually best though. Just lie. Treat it like an Uber drive. Even if you don't like the driver, you get 5 stars anyway because you don't want nobody to lose their job.
Oh my gosh. You know what I just realized, Omar, when you said that we're 9 months into this thing, that's enough to have a baby. Wow. So basically we've birthed something amazing here.
I want child support.
Whatever. These men nowadays, man. Anyways,
I want child support. Anyway,
3 good things to start out the podcast always, because we like positive energy over here at the Fufu and Jerk podcast.
Indeed.
My 3 good things is that we are really coming up in the game when it comes to better audio. That first episode, I was a little embarrassed to even put that up there anymore because the struggle was so real with the audio. It was so real.
It was her fault.
It was my fault because I should have looked into better ways. But no, we are definitely getting better with the audio. Our guest audio, that's definitely getting better. We figured out the technology. So I'm really excited about that. And I hope you guys will enjoy the excellent quality that we are now bringing you. And Omar can stay at home and record from his house. That's right. Also saving him time.
This is the first podcast we're doing in 2 different remote locations. And yeah. I don't know if that's better or not, because now she's like texting me like, please get up. And I'm like laying in my bed, like, leave me alone.
First of all, anyway, another exciting thing, although I'm not there, I'm very excited to see that everyone is having a blast for Trinidad's Carnival. We will be there next year, hopefully, and God's willing. I really want to go to Trinidad Carnival. People are very turnt, as the kids say nowadays. There's a lot of fun educational activities happening over there in Trinidad.
Stop saying kids like you're 45 years old. Like there's actual elderly women who look at you as a child and you're saying the kids.
You know what? Another exciting thing that happened this month, I am really grateful for random encounters with good people, genuine people who want to help you, who see you and see something in you that they want to nurture. How about you, Omar? How is March going for you? By the way, March is like a big month for all my friends and family. It feels like I have a cousin, my mom, my sister, my grandmother, and like 2 of my friends have birthdays this month. So it's going to be an interesting month.
Well, you're going to go broke. For me, 3 good things that have happened to me in the past month. First thing I got to say, shout out to Nigeria, first and foremost, because people who you probably don't know this, because I don't know if I talked about it on the podcast, but I'm a big UFC fan. I like watching UFC.
Okay.
And we just got our first African UFC champion, Kamaru Usman, Nigerian-born. Beat the brakes off of Tyron Woodley last night. It was like literally no contest. He beat the hell out of the champion, and became the first African champion in UFC history. And there's more on the way, because I don't know if you watch UFC. There's this big dude who's a heavyweight who has like a big old knockout punch. I'm telling you, like I said, they made a mistake in the UFC when they let West Africans in. You don't want to let people who just ate fufu and jollof and are hungry and upset with brute strength coming to plow on you, because that's what they're about to do. They're about to take over the UFC game. So shout out to Kamaru Usman for being the first and breaking a barrier in an up-and-coming sport. Secondly, I want to talk about a shout out to someone who blessed me with this beard pump, this beard balm. I was using Carol's daughter before on my beard, and my face sometimes a little too greasy. But I was blessed with some beard balm that I actually like a lot better. It's specific for men's beards, and it came with a comb and a brush, specific for the beard game. And I think my beard has been less nappy ever since.
Listen, I'm embracing the naps as of late, so I love it. So nappy is good with me.
Team Natural, hashtag Team Natural, both
team
of us.
Team Natural, Team Transitioning, Team the relaxed ends whenever you feel like it without a professional. Anyways.
And lastly, you know, you and I are both journalists, but, you know, I think it's important to obtain other skills. So I have slowly been teaching myself how to code.
Amen, Omar. That's amazing.
It's very small baby steps. I'm not an expert by any means, but I am trying to obtain the skill because when I heard that they were teaching code to people in elementary school, to little kids in elementary school, I was like, damn, I ain't gonna have a job in 10 years.
At the rate technology is going, trust me.
Yeah. So
gonna try to keep up.
So yeah, so hopefully I can acquire that skill, better myself. I plan on doing a bunch of other things and learning a bunch of other things along the way. Anything to make that moolah. So that is so far how my month is going.
That's wonderful, Omar. I had so many great things happening. Speaking of good news and great things happening, we're going to switch now to international news, where we have a few great things happening on the beautiful island of Jamaica. One love to all the people that Jamaica. Anyways, so apparently Spice was in Gambia recently.
Who's Spice?
Spice, yes, Spice, the reggae artist, the dancehall artist who went viral after Wendy Williams posted a clip of her with all white face, white body. What happened was she was trying to make a point about colorism, blah, blah, blah. She's also on Love and Hip Hop, which I think she's like one of the few Jamaican artists to be featured on Love and Hip Hop. So Spice, yes, was in Gambia recently, and she got shown mad love. Just take a listen.
I love you too. Big up yourself, buddy.
She took a stand for dark-skinned folks, and the dark-skinned folks showed her love for it. So shout out to Spice.
Amen. And I think, you know, Spice has been really trying to get into Afro beats, and she's really been experimenting with a lot of Afro beats and the techniques that they use. So that's what you heard at the end, was that one of her songs.
She's a culture vulture is what you're saying.
I wouldn't say she's a culture vulture, because we all use each other's. And first of all, Spice is, let's not go there right now. We're thinking, you know, technically an African queen. Okay. All right now. That's where I'm going to leave it. Anyway.
Okay, I guess.
All right. Next up, we have Buju, who recently, for the first time, got on Instagram. You know, he was in jail for a while, so he doesn't really know anything about Instagram. So he got on there, and this is what he said. Hold on.
How are you? I am ready for you. Are you ready for me? I have enough things to talk about. Realize upon this everybody attack and run off their mouth, you know? Yeah, readily admit I'm ignorant to it, but I'm gonna get it. You'll see.
So you heard what he said. He said, I'm ignorant to it. Ignorant to Instagram. And he was basically saying, you know, he don't know what people are doing on this thing, but he says he notices everybody is on Instagram.
Wait till he finds out it's a thirst trap app. Wait till he finds out. You know what? He might find some booty on there. You know, he's a famous celebrity. The Instagram thought's gonna be hollering at him. They're gonna be like, "Hey, I know you just got out. Hey, throw me your bag and you can have this." Wait till that happens to him. It's gonna be a whole world for him.
I'm sure that's already happened. They're sliding in his DMs, and his social media people are reading it. But anyways, you guys can check that out on our Instagram page at the Fufu and Jerk podcast, where we posted that clip, and I posted the translation because I know that was hard to understand if you don't really speak Patois. And then, so apparently Buju's next concert is this month, actually, March 16th. It's going to be at the National Stadium in Kingston. And it's expected to be sold out, if not already. So
we're not going.
What did you say, Omar?
So we're not going?
Omar, how we gonna go? First of all, my mom is dragging me on this cruise. Let's not talk about it. My mom is dragging me on this cruise. There's so many things I wanted to do
Let's
this
talk,
month.
let's talk about that real quick. Why is your mama dragging you on this cruise?
I love my mom. She's turning 50, and I'm not going to
Hey,
deny her the happiness of bringing her children on a cruise for her 50th birthday.
where's the cruise? Where's the cruise going?
We're hitting a couple islands actually. Bahamas, Jamaica, Mexico.
I'm gonna try to get her groove back. Okay, Mama Gail.
You are a mess.
Okay, Mama Gail.
My mom
Better
already
hide-
lost her
She better
groove.
slide the Buju's DMs.
Don't even start. My mama, she is a beautiful woman and she's wonderful. Love her to death. Anyways, moving on. Vibes Cartel could soon be a free man if Lisa Evers' reporting is correct. She's in New York with the Fox 5 local affiliate in New York City. She recently put out a clip talking about Vibes Cartel trying to overturn his conviction because, as you all know, Vibes Cartel was sentenced to life in prison for the 2011 murder of one of his associates, Clyde Lizard Williams, and he was convicted in 2014, and he was sentenced to 35 years in jail, and he's not eligible for he's not eligible for parole.
For a while, because parole
For a
happens
while.
after
So-
5 years or such.
Yeah, so he's trying to overturn that. Here's what Lisa Evers put out on her Instagram that got a lot of traction, 10,000 views.
Now, I spoke with Vibes Cartel's attorney, Tom Tavares Finson. He told me he was declining our interview request because they are awaiting the decision on their appeal of the murder conviction. He believes that could happen within a few weeks, and if the guilty verdict is overturned, Cartel could soon be a free man. Steve?
That's a wild story.
I love how he went right back to the anchors and he was just like, that is a wild story because he didn't have nothing to add to that conversation.
He did not give a damn.
He's like, who? Vibes Cartel, who?
He's like, thanks for wasting our time, Lisa. Next, it's gonna be cold outside. But that's a lot of good information coming out of the Caribbean. Unfortunately, I don't have as much fun news to share about what's going on in Africa because we always got some hot mess going on, y'all. But let me start off with the harder news and transition to the softer news. The harder news is CNN's Freedom Project just released this mini doc about Ghana that is kind of troubling. They got apparently the Volta Lake, which is very popular in Ghana outside of Accra. Apparently, people are like selling children into slavery there. Reportedly, it's 20,000 kids being slaved and working in Ghana's fishing industry. And people are wondering like how it's happening. And it's not like it's a secret per se, because it's like people are selling their own kids into the slavery business because they're so poor, and the people are offering money for these kids that they'll give up their own child just to get a couple dollars to survive. That's how bad the situation is over there. So I thought that was real depressing when I saw that report. And if you haven't seen it, I would say go to CNN's Freedom Project and check it out. They even interviewed this one mother who she sold her son into slavery. Someone rescued her son, and now the son's living with them. But the son, and they went and asked the woman. They said, "Hey, like, why would you do this? And have you spoke to your son?" And she basically said, "Look, I know he's mad at me, but I needed the money," which is crazy. Yeah. So I mean, if want to learn more about what's going on, I mean, even there's a Ghanaian Grammy-nominated reggae artist, Rocky Dewoni, and he was talking about it too, and he was standing up for the child slave. So hopefully, I know that there's countries all over the world that are dealing with slavery, but Ghana, we got to get our act together, man. This is not what's up, and I understand that poverty is a thing. So if you want to help out in any kind of way, I mean, I will look into it and just know that tourism does help, I guess, the economy. So, I mean, just head over to Ghana, spend your dollars, and see what you can do. But moving on to a neighboring country, young Nigeria just had an election, and if you're familiar with African elections at all, you know that there's some funny ass experiences, man. Like y'all thought, people think, not speaking for the Fufu and Jerk podcast, some people think that Donald Trump allegedly colluded to win the presidency. Man, if y'all know what happens in African elections, man, y'all would be like, man, that ain't nothing. But Nigeria's president, Muhammadu Buhari, was reelected as president. And of course, the scandal with this reelection is, one, he pushed back the election date.
Wow.
He had it pushed back an entire week. People were supposed to vote on February 16th. They ended up voting on February 23rd. And he won 56% of the votes over his opponent, Abu Bakr. And Abu Bakr was like, man, this whole thing's a sham, because there were areas that he was definitely supposed to lose that he statistically ended up winning. And he was like, it's impossible. There's no way he could have got those kind of numbers in those areas. So, of course, there's always controversy when you have African elections, but I guess shout out to Muhammadu for winning re-election.
No comment.
And we'll keep you guys up to date if anything comes out of that, if there's any collusion.
Because I could see that. Well, it's been a couple days. How long has he been reelected? Maybe people aren't going to protest.
From the time that we've recorded this podcast, he has been reelected for, I want to say, a week. So,
okay, we'll see. Stay tuned for Nigeria's.
Stay tuned. I'll let you know. I mean, but if you pull a 419 Kings to be reelected, you the GOAT. You the GOAT.
No comment.
At least it's like she was no part of this.
Yeah.
Zero part of this.
No parts. No parts.
I'm here for it.
Politics is not my lane.
At me on the Fufu and Jerk podcast page. It's the Omar, Thee Omar. I'll take all the smoke. It's all good.
He wants all the smoke, folks. I'm glad he said it. Anywho, I'm really excited about our special guest this month, because I've seen Nick around, Nicholas Owens, who we're about to interview. And he has been really positive, just throwing out positive vibes to the community. The things he does to put smiles on people's faces that he doesn't even know, that is really impressive. And now he's a part of something that a lot of people are excited about here in the DMV. Omar, tell us a little bit about it.
Nick is about to bring back a staple, a DC staple that was taken from us, and he's about to bring it back for a short time, limited time only. But we talked to him about what he wanted to do to bring back Patty Boom Boom, y'all.
So, Nick, how was Tuesday? Tell us a little bit about, the first pop-up for Patty Boom Boom coming back. That's pretty exciting.
Patty Boom Boom. Well, if you know the history of Patty Boom Boom, you know that that it was like a staple when we were at Howard University and in DC. I think it really popped up probably in, sophomore, maybe junior year or something like that for me. Personally, I graduated Howard in 2009 and in 2012, but it was a real staple in there. It was the hot box, Mm-hmm. We made sure that we were there all the time, making sure that you just get the vibes right there locally and very close by. Because usually, especially in the D.C. area, you have to go to Maryland. You have to go, far out to actually, get some good Jamaican vibes. Or to Mary's in Adams Morgan, a dungeon, maybe, Yeah. But Patty Boom Boom was like catered to us, small. They would always talk about close the window all the time and everything like that. So,
Wait, close the window? Please explain that to me.
Oh, close the window because it was really hot in there. So
right, exactly.
Yeah, it was really, really hot. So then, and then you were just like, "Yo, open the window." Security would come over and say, "Close this window," because it knows the ordinance for U Street and everything like that. So,
man.
But But Nick, so you weren't originally part with the original Patty Boom Boom group, and if you weren't, what made you want to bring it back yourself?
It was just something memorable, that was shut down, I guess, prematurely. So I wanted to be a part of the new vibes. It was a friend, one of my sister's friend. My sister went to Howard, and her friend Shinari recommended that I provide the food there. So close knit people, everybody knows everybody, and then they said I should do the food. So and I knew about Patty Boom Booms from back in the day. And so it was only necessary that, I brought it back, especially in this changing DC that we have here. There's not many places in the Caribbean community. We follow DJs and we follow promoters. So to actually have something come back in the past and actually, on a Tuesday night, at Marvin's, that's usually, jam-packed with other types of music and other types of people there. It was a really good, fresh breath of fresh air, so it was good.
Nice. And so how many people did you have there on Tuesday?
Oh my God. I have to show you guys the video. I'll probably put it on there, but it was like hundreds actually. Wow. So it was jam-packed. We was jam-packed, and definitely I would say that this is just the beginning of the return of Patty Boom Booms at Marvin's.
So how do you make sure you keep that vibe though? Because for me and you were in college at the same time.
Yeah,
and I went to Patty Boom Booms, and even as an African man, if I was on U Street, I'm like, hey yo, let's go check out Patty Boom Booms to get this twerking. You know what I mean?
Exactly, of course.
Ain't no faking over here. So, so how do you keep that? How do you make sure you keep that same energy? Because people are getting hyped for this. They're gonna go there with an expectation.
Exactly.
So how do you keep that energy?
And definitely, people came with expectations. They were like, yo, I used to go here all the time. Even though it's a Tuesday and I got work in the morning, they were like, yo, I'm definitely going to be there. So a lot of people showed up, and it's just like a mixed crowd, So how do you keep expectations? Well, one, you continue to innovate as well, too. So even while the party was going on, we were like, we could have like a rolling DJs that come in, the locally known Caribbean reggae dancehall DJs, as well as some unknowns that might be out of the city as well, too. That's a way to innovate as well. And then I learned a lot from actually providing the food for the event as well, too. That was my first time working in an industrial kitchen, actually providing food, because usually I cook it before and then I go to the clubs. So, and I have a new appreciation for, the people who work in kitchens, man. It's a lot of work. So
I ain't gonna lie, Nick. It looks like you can make better jerk chicken than I make, and I'm a little jealous of you.
What you mean?
Oh, by the way, we got a plug. We got a plug.
We got the plug. Got the plug.
I sound like a battle. I mean, I think y'all should have a cook-off.
No, don't even start with your big belly. Talk about no, it's just Caribbean. But anyways, I do agree that Nick, your jerk seasoning looks like it's lit. We definitely got to get on supporting that. Tell us a little bit about how that started and how it's been going in terms of the launch and getting things out to different areas.
Right. So man, I used to throw parties at Howard. I used to call them jerk chicken and beer. And it's like, I said, you know what? Let me, it's been years. Everybody's like, yo, your jerk season is good. You should bottle it up. Many people told me this, and it's been at least like 4 years that I was just like, yeah, whatever. So last December of 2017, I said, all right, let me buy the bottles. You know what I'm saying? But then, you know how just ideas just sit? And they they never come to fruition. So the bottles are just sitting right there. And my aunt told me how to the secret recipe, the secret family recipe and everything. So I kind of perfected it, right? My Auntie Marilyn, she's the family cook and everything. So the bottles were sitting in my room for at least 3 months. And then one of my friends just said to me, because I was, you have to wait for everything that's perfect, right?
Yeah.
So then he was like, everything don't have to be perfect. And it just clicked. I think I was just coming back from Jamaica Carnival. And I was like, yo, it don't have to be perfect. Because I was just like, I have to make sure that I get the right label. I got to make sure that the bottle is correct. I got to make sure that the right amount of peppers in there. I got to make sure I get the right Scotch bonnet peppers. I got to make sure I'm not using habaneros. Where's my allspice going to come from? You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So when he said that, like, yo, I was just coming back from Jamaica Carnival, and he was like, yo, everything doesn't have to be perfect. So then it just clicked. I said, yo, the first batch, just make it. So last May, I just made it. It was like May 1st or something like that. I just made the first batch, shot it out. I'm talking about stuff like, you know, that goes on the label, the plastic that protects it and everything, you know, and stuff like that. So it's a progression of getting to perfection, and I'm just here for it. So it's almost a year since I've started. I've sold about 600 bottles so far, all on like Instagram and stuff like that, and social media. That's crazy, you know. And so just been using those mediums and Shopify to help me manage. Again, I was doing an Excel spreadsheet in the beginning. People were just texting me. I was like, okay, let me take your order, Excel spreadsheet. Now, as I grow a little bit more, you know, stages, that progression, I have a Shopify account that helps me manage and everything from my home and everything like that, you know?
That's fantastic. And that's your side hustle. What do you do as your day job?
I know I got a lot. What do you mean?
You have a lot going on.
Right? I got 10 jobs. So the day job, I am a project manager at the Department of Education Federal Student Aid. I manage an IT system there with CRM system out there. So it's pretty good. It pays the bills, right? So that's what it serves as. And it enabled me to have a lot of opportunities. I've worked there. People don't believe me, but I've worked there almost 9 years now. It's crazy.
I remember when I was interning at CNN, I would always see you on your bike, and I was like, "Yeah, he was working over at the Department of Education." So,
I've been there for a minute, exactly. It's so crazy because you have the change of administration happening and everything like that, and you have all these older folks that's coming in, and I'm like in the room, and I'm usually like the one that's been there the longest. So that's that stability. That's that stability that I get, and it enabled me to buy my house, and I rent out rooms. In my house as well too, so that's another hustle that I have. As well as I have this travel company with my friend. I work with him where we go with doctors and lawyers all around the world and just, you know, experience different places. Our next trip is Jamaica.
Really? What are you doing in Jamaica?
Heroes Weekend in October.
In October is my birthday month. I'm tempted.
You know, with all these side hustles, how do you make sure each is performing at the level that you want them to? How do you make sure to invest the right amount of energy into everything?
It's something that I probably struggle with every single day because, you know, but one is like a race against time in my mind. It's like a race against time to implement all these ideas that I have, you know. But then it's also a race against what I really and truly want to do. So, you know, when I was back in school, I always dreamed about, you know, traveling the world. So why not do it for free, you know, and show people the world as well too. Because I already was traveling a lot from before. So it was just a manifestation of, okay, let me turn what I like doing into something that's profitable. And that could, you know, in return, let me go for free and actually make money as well too. As well as the jerk seasoning as well too. I used to throw parties all the time for free. You know what I'm saying?
Hold up, wait. I think Omar had to be your jerk chicken at homecoming when you just threw that party. Wait, you remember homecoming just in 2018?
Yeah.
What was your party called again?
Which one? It was I had Jerkchilla in New York the month before, and then I had a homecoming party at in Georgetown. That was it. Yes. And then we do something on the yard all the time as well too. So yeah, and I mean, I make jerk seasoning. So I mean, why not turn it into something that I enjoy doing, cooking, profitable, and that I could bring to the masses as well too. So it's that transition. I think I'm in a transition. I'm in my early 30s. It's that transition from, okay, internship with the Department of Education turned into a job. It enabled me to be financially flexible, and then turning these passions into something that's sustainable for the long term.
Amen. Well, I have one final question, and I think Omar will too. What advice do you have for young first-generation immigrants who may be trying to figure out how to make their voice heard on many different levels? Because sometimes we struggle with identity issues when you're from another country and you know, you're not really quite sure where you fit in the grand scheme of things, especially, you know, just in terms of your identity, just being Black in America first. What are your thoughts?
Man, I think I struggle with that as well too, especially being Jamaican and stuff like that. It's like it's very interesting. I say one, you have the best of both worlds. You know, even though sometimes when you go back to Jamaica, mind you, I have my citizenship there and everything too, and citizenship here too. But then it's just like, oh, but you never climbed that tree. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. Or when you come up here, just like you're not American enough. You know what I'm saying? I remember when I was younger, I was talking to a group of friends after basketball. I was like, all right, we're gonna go to this party and everything. I was like, I'm gonna go bathe right now and everything. They're like, excuse me, I go, yeah. I'm gonna go bathe. It was just like, you're gonna go bathe? You don't go bathe. You know what I'm saying? You go take a bath. You know, so it's just like embrace both. It is challenging because they'll try you in both ways as well too. You know, are you Jamaican enough? Are you American enough? What is it? But embrace both because you serve a purpose here for people to connect the two dots, and that's what I think that's very important with first generation. Black people is that we serve a purpose here, whereas we have the best of both worlds where we can connect the dots and connect Black people everywhere. And that's key.
Amen.
That's beautifully said, man, bro. And my last question, my final question is, man, when the freaks get to go to Patty Boom Boom, man, when you get the freaks out there to start popping and twerking it, man, when they, you know what I'm in there for.
Ready.
Man, where we going to
When they're going to do it? So a little birdie told me that's not the end. It's just the beginning. And we got something really, really good coming about. They want to do some, man, it was a success. Hundreds of people were out there. And I will say that they want to do something for the start of spring. So that's March the 20th. And then after that, in the summertime months, they want to do something consistently on a weekly basis. But that's just a little birdie that just.
Oh, wow. I think we got an exclusive there, Omar.
Exclusive, right.
Look, man, get my number down. You know, I just want to be there. Make sure I don't miss it. You know?
And I'm supposed to go and play the Afro beats as well, too. That Joanna.
My guy.
Come on.
Not all on you. Not on you. You know what I mean?
Sometimes I feel like I'm evil, man. They call me Chuck, so it's okay. It's okay.
I like it, man. Sometimes you gotta embrace your inner evil, man.
That's it. They say Jamaican people from Ghana, but how they so rowdy? I think they're from Nigeria. So that's what I'm saying. Ghana people are just too nice. We like nice, but I'm just saying Jamaica sometimes can, whoa. You know what I'm saying? Niger people.
All right, but just make sure this don't turn into no 419 scheme. All right, man?
Agreed.
Wait, Omar, you never asked him your favorite question.
What's my favorite question?
I'm trying to figure out if you know me well enough, and if I'm pretty sure you know your favorite question. I know your favorite question. It's okay. Which one do you prefer, Nick? Jollof from Nigeria, or
I'm gonna ask that. I don't know if he's an expert. You know what? I mean, he could. Let me ask him. Yo, you've had jollof? Yes or no?
Of course.
Ghanaian jollof for Nigeria.
I'm actually making jerk chicken right now.
what?
This right now, actually, and then because there's a party at I know I can't miss no party. You know what I'm doing right now? Because Carnival is happening. I'm looking at everybody's like snaps and everything like that.
Yo, we were just talking about that.
We are sick right now.
I just sold my costume. I'm supposed to be there and everything like that.
Oh man, I'm sorry, Nick.
It's okay.
Yeah. Next time.
But Nigerian jollof for Ghana jollof.
Oh, yes. A friend of mine is bringing her jollof rice over today to go with the jerk chicken. It goes very
Ooh.
Jollof rice. Come on, the show. Hello.
What ethnicity is this jollof?
This is Nigerian jollof.
You ruined this. You ruined the meal. Wow.
I will say that I've only had Nigerian jollof rice, and it is pretty damn good. I have not had anybody else's jollof rice.
Listen, that's like saying I've only had chicken from KFC. Like, come on, bro. Come on, man.
Somebody told me one time from New Orleans. They said that that jollof rice is just is like a tame version of New Orleans gumbo.
Oh, that makes sense.
No, it doesn't make sense. Don't ever.
They just add meat and stuff. That's what they say. What am I going to say?
Don't even speak that into the air, bro. Don't put that on our show. What's wrong with you, bro?
There's got to be competition. Or we can just say the vegan or the vegetarian.
Vegetarian. Hey, interview over. I got something to do.
There's a competition. Nigeria, Ghana, and let's talk about vegetarian jumbo.
Just lost all credibility. Hey, make sure Batty Boom Boom live, man. Thanks for joining Fufu Jerk. Come on.
I am going to Ghana this year, so I will experience.
Are you trying to go to Afrochella?
I am going to Afrochella.
Yeah,
so the travel group is going to in December. We're going to South Africa in November. We're gonna go to Ghana in December. It's the year of the return. Why not?
Yes.
100 years, baby. My man's here. Hey, yo, and make sure you listen to our last podcast. We actually talked to the creator of Afrochella, so he could break it down for you.
Oh, I need his contact then. I got some good people coming.
Yeah.
You give us some jerk chicken, and we may give you the contact.
Make some jollof rice. Let's go.
Stop putting that in there.
Thank you guys so much. This has been fun. I'll definitely send you guys some jerk seasoning to test.
Thank you. And we will post about it after I cook, because Omar ain't cooking it.
Perfect. Thank you guys. It's been fun. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Talk to you soon. Enjoy the party.
Definitely. I will. See you guys later.
See you soon. Bye.
Good.
That was awesome. Definitely support Nick and Nick's Jerk Seasoning. If you have the opportunity to, we'll put that on our Instagram page so that you can help to support him and all that he's doing. And we definitely got to get out there this summer, Omar, to one of these Pache Boom Boom.
I'm in there, but Nick lost credibility with me when he said Niger Jollof tastes good. So I don't know if you should support him that much, y'all. Just a little bit. Just support him a little bit.
Cut him some slack. But yes, we are excited to brook out with the Patsy Boom Boom people. I
got a question for you. That I need to know if this is true. Have you never been to Patty Boom Boom?
You know what? I keep trying to remember. What year was this that it closed?
I don't remember what year it closed, but it feels like it was the Great Depression when it did.
All right. You know what? I'm done with you.
I
think I was in the books heavy. I think I was like freshman year, sophomore year. I barely got off campus. You couldn't get me to do anything off campus except for internships. So I doubt it. I was in the books.
Sad life indeed.
I was a nerd.
You never really lived. You never really lived at all. But
still learning how to live. Trust me. Yeah, I was definitely a nerd. Definitely a nerd.
No, you're definitely a club right now. But
life comes at you fast.
But moving on, guys, to this week's The Unexpected. As we all know, that Black History Month was canceled last month.
Was it canceled?
Due to a numerous number of events, Black History Month, when it comes from blackface to a bunch of other things, we just said, you know what, we're not having it right now. Not this February. It's going to come back at a later month in time.
Hilarious.
But one of the things that made headlines during Black History Month was the Jussie Smollett investigation about what happened to him, what really went down in Chicago. And as we all know, he was criminally charged in his own beatdown. We're still waiting on all the facts and to know what happened. But according to police, they say he hired his own training crew, his own fitness people to beat him up and pose as MAGA racist abductors. When that news came out, our resident hilarious sports commentator Charles Barkley had some advice for Mr. Jussie Smollett. So here's what Chuck had to say in this week's The Unexpected.
Jussie, you wasted all that damn time and money. You know what you should have did? What's that? Just went out in Liam Neeson's neighborhood. You could have solved all your damn problems. Charles, you got.
So that was this week's The Unexpected. Chuck offered his own advice, and if you were lost on that, on what he was saying there, Liam Neeson once also said during Black History Month that he said that he wanted to beat up a black guy after someone in his family was raped, I believed, and he asked him what color the person was, and the person said black. So he said he was going to find a random black person on the street and beat them up. He had those thoughts. He never did it.
Yeah, it was a friend that was allegedly sexually assaulted.
A friend that was allegedly sexually assaulted. And so Chuck was saying if Jesse allegedly had people he wanted to get beat up, he could have just found Liam Neeson. But that's this week's The Unexpected.
Yeah, there's no comment. Charles Barkley is on his own with that one. But it just makes you wonder. I'm not saying that Jussie Smollett is lying because we don't know what the situation is. It seems like something new is coming out about that almost every 2 days or a week or something. They're still investigating. Not going to comment on that, but a lot of people were insinuating that he lied. Just wondering, what was the biggest lie you've ever told, Omar?
Why would you ask me that like so hot? Like, first and foremost, if it was the biggest lie, do you think I would have given up like right now? Like,
yes.
I'm not gonna incriminate myself. Like, how do you know the lie isn't still going?
You know what a big lie is? That you don't see my messages. That's one thing. Let's talk about that.
I don't lie about that. I just don't respond.
Trifling.
Talk about what's your biggest lie?
My biggest lie? You know what? I don't know. I don't know if I've had a big.
That you're looking for commitment. You lie right here on this podcast.
You know what? We may have to end this podcast short, guys, because we don't really have much to talk about today.
Why are you canceling the podcast? Hey, why are you canceling the podcast?
I mean,
what's up? You want to talk about lies?
We do want to talk about lies, but I'm not really particularly sure.
When to talk about my lies, we cool. When we talk about your lies, you want to end the podcast? Is that what we doing?
We need a new topic. That gonna work. We gonna cut this one out.
Hey yo,
I can't think of a lie that I've told that's been a big deal.
You're hilarious.
A lie that has gotten me in trouble. Never. First of all, if I'm going to tell a lie, make sure it's not a lie that is like a rolling lie. I hate when people tell rolling lies. Like you just keep lying.
You know a lie that I wish that I had done and I was too stupid at the time?
What?
So one of my many nerd qualities is that I have, when the seasons change, I have nosebleeds.
Oh, wow. So I'm sorry.
When I was in college,
I had the same problem, by the way.
During exam week, while I was taking an exam for statistics, my nose kept bleeding. It wouldn't stop bleeding. So I would run to the bathroom, stop it, come back, do the test, blood coming down, stop it, go back, do the test.
Why not just tell the teacher that you can't take the test right now?
I mean, because I don't know if you thought I was faking or not. And so I take the test, and I'm almost done with the test, and there's one question on the test left. And I did not know the answer. I didn't know the answer to the question. So I was just like, fuck it, I'm going to leave it blank. And the next day, the guy comes up to me and goes, hey, I saw that you couldn't get to this one question. Is it because of your nosebleed? And my dumb ass goes, oh no, I just didn't know the answer. It's all good. and my friend Felicia goes, are you stupid? Like he would have gave you the points for that question. And I was like, oh no. I'm about to get a B or C on this exam when I could have got an A. I'm getting that question. That's a lie I wish I told. I just wasn't smart enough at the time to tell that lie.
Wow.
But that's a lie I wish I had told. If I can go back in time, I'm definitely lying about that joint straight up.
You know what? Okay, I will say there's been a moment early on when I first started dating when I was younger that whenever somebody would say, I love you, I would just say it back. But I actually didn't really feel strongly about that. It was more like I love you as a friend.
Dudes say I love you first?
Yeah.
Where? Oh, look at okay.
Random? Is that not normal?
I feel like dudes don't typically say it first.
Well, the guys I've dated, they do.
Oh, you making her fall in love, huh? Look at you. Look at my girl, Lise. Lise out here making her fall in love.
I
Money
can't.
fall on you.
I cannot deal with
fall
you.
on you.
I mean, that's not a big lie though. I mean, okay, or the hyphen in my name, that's interesting. It's not really a lie, but one day somebody just walked up to me for a yearbook in high school and asked me if I have a hyphen in my name. Oh, it is a little white lie. I just said sure.
Wow. So that hyphen, I'm about to take this hyphen up off this chat we're using.
No.
I can't believe that you out here. I feel lied to. I feel bamboozled.
Yeah.
I guess I got to think of a lie as big as that one. Wow, she out here lying to the world. Goodness.
Okay, they'll be all right.
So the world, you've been giving the world a screen name this entire time.
I mean, sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
You got a mixtape coming out?
You know, I think that's something I should work on one day. Yeah.
I disagree. If you go to the earlier parts of this podcast, we know that ain't true.
Oh my God, we did stop rapping.
Yeah, we did. What is a lie I have told that is big enough to tell? I'm gonna feel bad about telling this.
I love those. Keep it coming. Keep it coming.
So while so people that don't know, my brother was in the army. He was stationed in Afghanistan and Iraq for a few years. And, you know, of course, at the time I was worried about his well-being and making sure that, you know, he was safe and everything. But I also used it to get out of like things I did not want to do or I was not prepared for. So if I was in college and I had an exam that I was not prepared to take, I would send the teacher, the professor, an email saying, "Oh, my brother is back from Iraq and he's only in town for like a week or so. So I'm wondering if I can take the exam later so I can go see my brother." And they would always say yes because they'd be assholes to be like, "Oh, no, your brother's in Iraq and you haven't seen him."
First of all, that is a terrible thing to use your brother. And I hope he listens to this podcast so that he can.
I hope he does it. I'm actually pretty sure he won't, which is why I felt comfortable using it. But I definitely used his ass to get out of some things. Absolutely.
Oh, that's terrible, Omar. You gotta do better. You gotta do better.
Good news is he survived everything. He's alive.
Oh my God.
He's alive. He's in the States. I saw him yesterday. But yes, that is yeah. And you know, there's no, and that's a lie that you can't get caught with. There's no paper trail.
Guys, comment and let us know some of your white lies.
Or
what are you not proud of?
Please make them big. Make a video. Actually, I like to see you like visually and expressive, like your facial expressions while you talk about this lie. So yes, please.
We need to see this. Send them to us to the Fufu and Jerk podcast at gmail.com, and we will post them on our page. That would be funny.
All right, y'all. So we're gonna wrap up this month's podcast. Thank you for listening. Hopefully it was as fun for you as it was for us.
Yes.
Remember to rate, subscribe on iTunes and Spotify so we can get them numbers up and get that money. The dollar bill, y'all. So.
Shmoney. Shmoney.